Let's go back in time together for just a second. The month is February and the year is 2021. The market was booming. Real estate home buyers were out there buying as fast as they could at really high prices and really quickly because of all the competition out there. Now at that time, buyers were hoping and wishing for different conditions, and we have those conditions in the market today. In this video, I want to go through exactly 5 things that have happened from February 2021 to February 2025 right now that are in buyers' favors and exactly what they were wishing for. Hi, my name is Pritesh and I lead a Toronto-based real estate team helping buyers and sellers all across the GTA. If you want to book a 15-minute chat with me or somebody on my team, just click the link in the description below and you can just book a call. And if you find anything helpful in this video, please click the subscribe button and that way you'll get more videos like this. All right, let's jump right into it. The first thing in February 2021 when the market was crazy is that there was so much competition across buyers. Buyers were running out there to see properties the minute that they hit the market and just trying to get there fast enough to see it and maybe even be able to put an offer on it before it actually got sold. I remember with clients, as soon as a listing came out, they would get a ping on their phone, call me saying they wanted to get out there, and I would leave as fast as I could to show them the property so we could be one of the first people to see it. Now, a lot of that was because there were not so many listings because places were just selling out so quickly. So let's take a look at the actual numbers to see how this has changed from back then up until now. Okay, to see how this competition played out, I have on screen here some of the data back from February 2021. Now over here, we'll see in February 2021, there were 10,970 sales just in that month alone. Now, if we compare that to 2025, February, we have over here 4,037 sales. So you can see that sales have more than halved between when the market was going crazy to where we are now. So if there's so many fewer sales in the market, that means that there's a lot less competition in the market right now. So there's less buyers fighting against each other and there are less sales happening. So the competition that was out there before is just not there right now. And that allows for a lot of different things, which I'll talk about later on in the video. The second thing that people were wishing for back then was that there was just more listings to choose from. So as soon as a property hit the market, it would sell out so quickly that there just wasn't that much choice. And even I had clients that were buying homes that were not ticking every single checkbox that they wanted, but because it was the right time for them to buy and the market was primed at the time for so many people to be buying, that people were willing to let go of some of what they actually had on their checklist as well. So there was just not enough listings out there for you to be able to choose from, but you would kind of pick the best that you could find at the time. Now, if we fast forward to today and we look at listings, again, we can look at the data over here. So again, we have February 2021, and what we see over here for active listings is that in February 2021, there was about 8,700 listings. Now, again, we fast forward to today and we look at active listings for February 2025, we see that it's 19,536 listings. That's a 125% jump in the number of listings that are just available on the market right now. So just from that, we can see that buyers have a choice. They can go out there and look at lots and lots of places before deciding what place they actually want to put an offer on. Number 3, prices. So in February 2021, prices were crazy. That was pretty much the peak at that time. There was so much competition and demand that prices were just going up and up and up. Now, since that time, prices have gone up and down. And what I want to show you today is where prices have gone more recently. So if I scroll down on this report over here, we can see that currently in February 2025, the average home price all across the GTA, including all different home types, is $1,084,547. Now, if we go back a year from now, which is over here, February 2024, we see that the average house price was $1,109,450. So we can see that in the last 1 year, prices have slightly dropped on average. Now, it's not very many years where we can see that prices are going down. And I know this is not a huge drop. So this drop would be 2.2%. We have had a 2.2% drop in the last year. That is really, really good news for buyers, especially in a market and an environment where rates are going down as well, which we'll get to next. So no, the market has not crashed and prices are not 50% of what they were back in 2021. But from that absolute peak, prices are just slightly up a few percent, and year over year the prices are actually down 2.2%, and depending on what part of the market you're looking at. So for example, if you're looking at the downtown Toronto condo market right now, prices are even lower. So it's really important to look at the house type and the neighborhood that you're interested in to get a really good grasp of where prices are right now. But the overall story is good news for buyers, is that prices have not really gone up in the last year. All right, number 4, interest rates. Interest rates have been something that over the past several years, people have been paying so much attention to. People who didn't even know what interest rates were, how they worked or impacted them, are now super interested in paying a lot of attention because they really dictated what was happening with the real estate market over the past few years. So I have pulled up here on screen exactly where interest rates were back in February 2021 all the way up to present of where we are. So just to be clear, this is the key rate, which is from the Bank of Canada, not the actual mortgage interest rate that you would pay, but that mortgage interest rate does piggyback off of this rate. So if we go back to, February 2021 over here, we can see that the overnight rate was 0.25%, which was just extremely low. So this is a point that would be a little bit extreme to compare to, but what's more important to look at is that interest rates just went up and up and up and up and up so high up until the key rate was at 5%. Now, just a year ago, the key rate was at 5%, which had a lot of people worried, especially those in variable mortgages and anybody that was thinking about buying for the first time. It started to become out of the question just because the monthly payments would just be so high due to this rate. Now, the amazing good news for buyers in this market right now is that the interest rate has just been going down since last year consistently, where now the key rate sits at 2.75%. So that has dropped by almost half of where it was here at 5%. That is a significant drop from that peak, where it is in a territory that is a lot more manageable for people to be able to get a mortgage. Now, of course, we're all hoping that interest rates would come all the way back to this almost zero level here as well. But given that prices have actually not gone up in the last year, yet interest rates have almost halved in the last year, that is really, really good news, because theoretically and over the long term, as interest rates go down, prices go upward. It's an inversely correlated relationship there, right? So even though interest rates have gone down in the last year by almost half, the prices have not gone up yet. In fact, just as the last point said, prices have gone slightly down in the last year during this time. So that makes it a pretty good place between the balance of interest rates and prices if you are thinking about buying. And finally, number 5, this point is more important than it might seem. And this point is that back in 2021, there was not enough time to think. If you wanted to buy a property, you had to see it as fast as possible and then put in an offer as fast as you could before someone else had a chance. I literally remember showing properties to people and working on offers in my car at night because I didn't want to waste the time driving home, because that could mean that someone else might actually put an offer on a property. It was just really crazy. Now, in the market today, things have slowed down a lot, and this is a huge benefit to buyers because you can see a property and then take your time to think about it. You don't have to worry that it's going to sell out just right in that instant. Of course, that's possible, but that worry isn't there, and you can take the time to go back, sleep on it, and think about it. So I have on screen here where we can see the average number of days on market. So for example, in February 2021, when the market was crazy, the average number of days on market was 19. So barely a few weeks. Now, if we go to February 2025 and we look for the same number, February 2025, we see that it's about 28 days. So on this point of just being able to have more time, let's look at a metric, which is the days on market. So on screen here, I have for February 2021, the average number of days on market for a property was 19. So barely a few weeks. That would be the average. And in some cases, it was a lot faster. I recall listing a property back then and selling it in literally 8 hours, which is less than a day because people were just going crazy to buy. So in February 2021, it was 19 days on market on average. And now in 2025, that same metric, it's at 43 days. So the average number of days that a property is selling in today is 43 days. So there's just a lot more time on the hands of buyers to be able to think about it, make better decisions rather than rushing into something. And there's a lot of things you can do in that additional time, which is you can actually have time to do your own due diligence, think through what kind of conditions and clauses you want to put in your offers, and then be able to present something which you've been able to give a good amount of thought to. So to recap, there are exactly 5 things that were happening that were crazy at the peak of the market in February 2023 that people were wishing were a lot better that we actually have right now. And those 5 things are: number 1, we have less competition. Number 2, we have more listings and inventory to choose from. Number 3, we actually have lower prices. Number 4, interest rates have really come down in the last year. And number 5, you just have more time as a buyer to think about your decision before pulling the trigger. If you want to learn more about any of the 5 different topics and conditions that I talked about for the market right now, reach out to me or comment below and I can share a little bit more. And I hope you found this helpful, especially if you're a buyer. There's a lot of different things to think about in the market, between interest rates and prices and supply and competition. So if there's anything you want to discuss, you can also book a 15-minute call with me by clicking the link in the description below, and we can get on the phone to chat about it. And if you found anything helpful in this video, please subscribe and hit that bell icon, and then you'll get more videos like this. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.